Alright, on this last video for tangent and cotangent, we're going to do a tangent one where we have both shifts, horizontal and vertical. First you can see, I always look at the big picture, I look at the S-curve. It's going to go up left to right because it's tangent, and there's no negative in front of the tangent. Okay, now I always want to identify the vertical shift. Now here it's a little bit different. They write the vertical shift first. So this 2, that's not the amplitude, that's the vertical shift because it's separate from the tangent. So if that's the vertical shift, that equals the middle. It gives me the y value for the middle part of the curve. So that's y equals 2. Okay, the amplitude, there's nothing written before tangent. It's assumed to be like 1 times tangent. So the amplitude's 1. So that means I go up 1. So this first y, or this top y value is 3. So that means the bottom y value, I take away 1 from 2, and it gives me 1. So I know all the y values here. Okay, the period. The period's going to be pi, and then this is the b value. It's not 3. Since it's in the bottom, it's 1/3. So if you divide by 1/3, it's the same as multiplying it by 3. So the period is 3 pi. So the increments then is just going to be 3 pi divided by 4. Okay, now the key points. I'm not going to start at x equals 0. I have a plus on the inside. So that means I'm going to shift this to the left. So I should start with a negative value for x. So I'm going to take the x over 3 plus pi, and to figure out where it starts, I set it equal to 0. So let's see here, you're going to have x over 3 equals, you subtract pi, so it's negative pi. Then I'm going to multiply by 3, times this by 3. So this tells me I start at negative 3 pi. Okay, so now here's the thing. If I start at negative 3 pi, and the period is 3 pi, well then I have to end at x equals 0. Okay, so let's use the increments for all the x values, and I should get it so that I start at x equals negative 3 pi, and the 5th x value should end at x equals 0. So let's see if it works. So let's see here, it's negative 3 pi, and then if I add 3 pi over 4 to it, well, negative 3 pi, that's like saying, I'll put it up here, negative 12 pi over 4. So if I add 3 pi over 4 to this, I'll even write it here. This just gets ugly with the fractions. That's going to give me, what, negative 9 pi over 4? And then if I add 3 pi over 4 to negative 9 pi over 4, I get negative 6 pi over 4, which is negative 3 pi over 2. Okay, and then I know it's the same as negative 6 pi over 4. If I add 3 pi over 4 to that, I get negative 3 pi over 4. And if I add the 3 pi over 4 to negative 3 pi over 4, I get that last x value. Okay, so I get the last x value of 0 there. Okay, that is the hardest part. Tangent, since I have tangent, tangent always starts at the middle part. So here's the order. It's going to be y equals 2, y equals 3, I'm going to get a VA, and then I start here, and I get y equals 1, y equals 2. So I start at the kind of the equilibrium, or the middle point, so it's going to be 2. Then I go up to y equals 3, then I get a VA, and then I start here at 1, and then I go to 2. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit messy. For this sake, I don't want to go over all the key points. I'm going to label, even though I'm to the right of the origin, I'm going to label them as being negative. But you know, really, when you graph it, it's got to be everything to the left. I'm going to say this is negative 3 pi. So I'll label these. So this is up at 2. Then we have negative 9 pi over 4 is at 3. Okay, this is at 3. Then negative 3 pi over 2, we get a VA. There's a VA. Okay, then negative 3 pi over 4, we are at 1, which is right here. And then at 0, we're at 2, which is up here. So these S-curves go up left to right, so it's going to look like this. The vertical shift is 2, so this is where it kind of changes its shape at y equals 2. Okay, it's going to go up here, and then it's going to go down. So that's our curve right there. Okay, domain, we'll just say all real numbers, except x cannot equal this negative 3 pi over 2. And our range is all real numbers. Alright, so we kind of improvised there a little bit. I didn't have enough room to the left of the origin, so I just relabeled it. And if you do that, you're fine. You have the S-curves that go up, so you had everything going on here. You had a vertical shift of going up 2 units, and then you went to the left. Looks like you went to the left, was it negative 3 pi units there.